Wuthering Waves' second closed beta test is currently underway, and there is no denying this game is absolutely gorgeous. But I want to talk about 7 amazing changes since the first closed beta test that I think make all the difference. Ever play a game with loads of loot drops and you're just thinking, oh my god, my finger is getting sore mashing the button to pick them all up? Well, the devs at Kuro Games heard our plea, because by holding down the collect button, you can pick up every item nearby at once now. It feels so much better than before, and it saves so much time. If anything, I wish this actually activated a little bit faster. It's almost perfect. But on top of this feature, compared to the first closed beta test, there are far fewer times where you actually have to collect loads and loads of materials off the ground at once. That combined with hold to collect all just makes it feel so good. It's rough when games that are already huge bloat your PC or your phone with just so much unnecessary data, and you just wonder, why could that not have been an optional download? In Kuro's other game, PGR, that's how I feel about the languages. But in the second closed beta test of Wuthering Waves, now you can choose any language from this list, voice and text, and it will wait until you select another language to actually download the files. This will be pretty big for our storage. The terminal in Wuthering Waves is kinda like a Pokédex and a Pokéball combined. It's not a finite resource, it's always there with you, but you can't capture every echo from the very start of the game. You need to level up your terminal before you can get a chance at capturing the stronger or more rare creatures. In the first closed beta test, it used to be that you had to go into a menu every time you gained enough experience for it to level it up, meaning you could just be sitting there for ages unable to capture better echoes because you forgot to click something in some menu somewhere. Now your terminal will level up automatically, telling you on the screen what benefits you get immediately. By going into a menu, you get a few more benefits, but they're mostly item rewards. In addition, your total stamina also increases. In the first closed beta test, I was always really struggling to see whether QTEs were active or not. Since I play on an ultra-wide monitor, looking all the way over to the right side of the screen was kinda tough. But as of CBT2, now when a character is ready to use their intro skill, you hear a little chime that lets you know they're ready. The visual is still there and looks a bit more clear than before, but that chime saves my life every day because my screen is simply too wide. One of the biggest selling points for Wuthering Waves is how much climbing and maneuvering you can do all over the place. Sprint is permanent and free outside of battle. You can run up walls at the cost of stamina. But the problem is, in the first closed beta test, you would always find yourself getting stuck on the edges of roofs and any protruding parts of anything you wanted to climb. It was pretty frustrating because you could just get blocked from getting to the top of that nice little tower you wanted to get to. Well, no longer. In the second closed beta test, when your character finds themselves against some kind of ledge or something blocking their way up, they'll do this cool little flip that parkours themselves onto whatever they're trying to get on. It's amazing. If you see somewhere, you can just go there, and even better, you can get there quickly. The UI was a big problem for the previous iteration of Wuthering Waves. The text was placeholder and very ugly. A lot of the menus didn't really make much sense, and I found myself clicking around to try to find the same things that I had found before and lost again. Now I'm very happy to say that the UI is in a pretty good place. Honestly, it's pretty beautiful. The transitions are nice, the text is nice and big, the font choice is good. You can tell there's been a lot of love put into this aspect, and I'm so glad. The first closed beta test had about 3 or so different puzzles that were all over the world, and it was boring. They weren't exciting, they were all way too similar. Sure, they were enough to pique your interest and you would go over and do them for the rewards, but it was just do this kinda lame puzzle, get this treasure chest, mash a button to pick up all your rewards. That is not the case anymore. The second closed beta test has introduced a bunch of new types of puzzles, and not that any of the very early ones are difficult or anything like that, which is fine, but they feel engaging. Like, they activate my brain cells, you know? The neurons are firing. When I see a puzzle, I no longer feel any sense of dread, and I think that is a big win. Not to mention, the actual rewards from puzzles and challenges have changed. Whereas before they all just gave you a treasure chest, which made it feel like it was a treasure chest opening simulator. Now there are many challenges or puzzles that simply put all of the stuff you get directly into your inventory without you having to pick it up. And on the occasion where you do have to pick it up, you can just hold down that collect button. An absolutely amazing change. This game feels like an absolute joy to navigate around. The movement is perfect. I find myself getting absolutely lost in the world in the best way possible. But there have been much more changes than this. And if you want to hear about some of the changes the developers have talked about, you'll need to check out this video. Taoqi was the very first character I got from the gacha, and I'm so happy. She's so precious.